Hey marketers, Brent Hamill here. So 6 years ago, Chris and I, one of my business partners, we started a business that was selling just one product which retailed on our website for $147. The average transactional value was about $159, $161, somewhere in between there. Small little fluctuations. Some people bought two, not too many in their first transaction. Now it was all fun in the early days. It wasn't fun at the time because we doubled every month for 5 straight months. It wasn't fun because it obviously sounds fantastic, but when you are doubling so quickly and growing so quickly, you actually have no money to pull out and put into your own pocket to actually live. So it's quite stressful at the time. And the worst part is the product that we were selling had to go through a full manufacturing process, which we have full control over now, but we didn't at the time. So it had to go through the manufacturing process, go away, get anodized, come back to us, 6-week turnaround, then we could sell the product. Now, when you're doubling, you sell out really, really quickly. Now, why am I telling you this story? At the 3-month mark, would you believe, and I wasn't as well established back then as I am now, is when I first started the remarketing campaign, and the results is what you can see in front of you. I was able to pull up some of the old data from 6 years ago. 2,800 visitors, over 2% conversion rate, over 60 conversions, and getting close to $10,000 in revenue in just 2 weeks. Fantastic result, it looks like. Now, the funny part is that it's a really basic remarketing campaign, just purely on the YouTube network with one banner. That's all I could do. I had no time to do anything at that moment, and I actually got the banner designed on Fiverr, would you believe, and I think I paid an extra $10 or $15 to get it done. Impatiently I was back then, and it just shows you the story and the results that I show you here. They're not fantastic, huge results, but it shows you the power of remarketing, and this is what this video is all about for you today. So in today's video, we're going to be going through 3 things. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's going to be a fantastic video in terms of value, as I give it probably about 10-20 second overview of what Facebook retargeting is. But more importantly are the last 2 bullet points. I'm going to go through my most profitable and best working Facebook remarketing, retargeting campaigns that I will go through conceptually, and also in the last point, in the last portion of the video, I'm going to show you how to set this up for you and your clients if you are a digital marketing agency. So the deal is if you find today's video valuable, smash the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment with any questions or feedback or any topics you'd like covered in the comment section. So without any more talking, let's get stuck into today's video. Okay guys, here we are back at my computer. So what we can see here is the Facebook strategy that I use. But just before we touch upon it, and as you probably already know if you are a fan of my videos, is you probably already know what Facebook retargeting is. Now, Facebook retargeting is if you are new to the digital world, it's a way to re-engage people that have already interacted with your marketing communication. So people that have interacted with your Facebook page, Facebook videos, or any portion of interaction with any of your Facebook marketing, or it can be people that interact with your website. There's plenty of different ways to skin this cat. I'm not going to touch upon it all too much, but it just allows you to essentially, if someone visits your website, you can follow them around with ads on Facebook to get them to re-engage with your marketing communication, to get them to re-engage and hopefully purchase or complete the desired action that moves them through the desired sales online sales process or funnel that you've created for yourself. So with that being said, let's get into the fun stuff. Now, the strategy. So this is probably not the strategy that I use, but sometimes it's added to, sometimes I subtract from it. But this is a good foundation that just about every business will be able to use. And I know some people say I'm business to business, or I sell this product that's worth $1 million. I sell something that's only worth $10. It's all rubbish. It's one of the most painful things to hear is that people say that my business is different. No, it's not. And if your clients say it, if you're digital, no, their business is not different. Human psychology has not changed all too much over the last 1,000 odd years since the scientific revolution. 1500 years ago. Things haven't changed so much. Culturally, things have changed, but psychologically, things have not changed all too much. So how you persuade someone in B2B is very similar to how you persuade someone in B2C. So that is fantastic news for you, because that means you can just plug and play this concept. So what I like to do is start, now this is just ideally, this strategy is an idealistic kind of concept. Now ideally, I like to start with a product demonstration video. It doesn't matter if you're a service or whether you actually have a product, an actual like gadget kind of product. You want to talk in the product demonstration video, you want to talk about your origin story, the epiphany kind of, essentially using Russell Brunson's story framework. Origin, the epiphany, how did the product come about, the features, the benefits, the emotional appeal of the product. I'm not going to talk about the inner workings of a product demonstration video here. But the length is politically incorrect way to do it, or to say the length of the video is very much like a woman's dress. Long enough to cover everything, short enough to be interesting. Everyone gets that kind of concept. Just a fun way to kind of, how long should a video be? That's the formula. So moving on. So once we'll just hypothetically say that the video is 2 minutes. So the video is 2 minutes long. People that watch 50% or more, they move into our retargeting sequence. That's if they did not visit the landing page. Now, what we do is we have retargeting ads, and I'm going to show you how to set all this up later in the video, of course. But we have testimonial review ads, we have educational-based ads as well, trying to re-engage the prospect and show them that both your business, you if you have, or the person that is the head of the business, and the product, both authoritative, they're trustworthy, there's credibility, there's proof, and creating authority, all that kind of fun stuff is coming through that remarketing process and retargeting process. Remarketing and retargeting, I look at them the same things. I'm going to interchange them through the video, so that's my disclaimer. Now, if people do click through from the initial Facebook ad over to the landing page, happy days. The purpose of this ad is to get a click. That's all it is. We're not trying to sell the product so much here. We're just trying to get them to click onto the landing page. Very, very important. People try to oversell a lot in the Facebook kind of platform. It's not a platform geared for selling when you think about it. There's so many distractions. There's movement. There's posts from friends. There's engagement from friends. Interaction from all different shapes and forms. And it's an awful platform to sell from. So, but ideally, the ad gets a click to the landing page. Now, all things being great, we get them to complete the desired action. They move on to the thank you page. Now, if they do not move into that desired action, we can hit them up with a retargeting sequence. Now, the retargeting sequence can be very similar here. Now, we want to be talking about, again, testimonials, building up proof, authority, again, education, again, more product-based stuff, moving them through a more educational-based process about the product, creating authority, showing them, depending upon how segmented your marketing is, but showing like-minded people that are like your prospect, or the actual prospect. I'm not saying plural there, because prospect, you're marketing to one, not marketing to many. It's one of the things that people, I really do think, make a mistake, is that they think that they're marketing to an audience. Now, you think about it, that you're just marketing to one particular person. And I like to pick someone in my group of friends or family that fits the ideal prospect of either a client or one of my businesses, and I'm trying to convince them to become either a purchaser from one of my businesses or for one of my clients. And it just allows me to tie in, to tap into that prospect's mind, that mindset, and things like that. But you'll have different prospects for different products and different services. And this could be multi-layered here with different silos for different prospects. But that's where this interchangeable kind of strategy suits just about everybody. So what you would do is you have a retargeting strategy based for your ideal prospect. So you're showing them like-minded people interacting with your product and having good results, getting them to the desired end outcome and the desired end result that your product or service delivers. That means that birds of a feather flock together. They want to see like-minded people buying. It gives them that trust and affinity that other people just like them have made the right decision, in that being the purchase of your product or service. So kind of like a caveat to that is that if you've ever been overseas in a non-English speaking country, if you're a native English speaker or whatever your native language is, into a country where you don't speak any of the language, and you come across a fellow English speaker for this story, automatically best friends. Just it doesn't matter, because it's just one thing that you have in common. Birds of a feather, automatically just best friends. It's just they don't have to be from the same country. It could be me being Australian, I'm in Russia, for example, and I see an American, automatically best friends. Both speak English. Yeah, it's just fantastic. Same kind of thing that you want to get with your marketing. Birds of a feather flock together. Really, really important. So again, but what we're doing here is that we might change the strategy here. Because this landing page didn't work for this particular prospect or segment of prospects, we might want to send them to an email opt-in page. So this time, instead of these retargeting ads, perhaps shooting up to the landing page, we might be sending these people over to an email opt-in page, giving them some kind of informational incentive. It could be a potential slither of the product. So if you're selling an informational-based product, say that you give away a chapter of a book, for example, or a little 5-minute snippet of an informational course. It could be, if you're selling a product, it could be a free trial. If you're a SaaS or a different version of a product, it could be a free sample. Plenty of different ways. Obviously, I'm not sitting next to you, so to speak, so I can't give you the specific example of what you could offer, but you kind of get the idea, I hope. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, with the email opt-in page, what happens then is that I still think of this, it's not remarketing in terms of the Facebook sense, but all this fun stuff is still created within Facebook, and we're going to touch upon that later in the video. But what happens here is that from the email opt-in page, we move up to email automation sequence, which again is very much like the length of a lady's dress. Long enough to cover what is necessary to cover, but short enough to be interesting. So it could be 2 emails, it could be 5 emails. Again, it's the same principles that are incorporated in there, but you can be a little bit longer with origin stories, epiphany, bridges, all that kind of fun stuff, testimonials, reviews, third-party credibility and proof and things of that nature, because you actually have control of this mechanism. So with Facebook, trying to sell your product on Facebook was a very poor example. Selling via email is far better because you have control, there's less distraction, things of that nature. So we can get to the thank you page, or a thank you page, and I'm going to kind of say, I'm going to flip the switch here and say that we are now into a service-based business where it's a lead generation, where it's followed up on the phone, and there's a consultation kind of selling process or something of that nature. So people come either through the landing page or through the email automation sequence to the thank you page. Now, people like to think that the remarketing stops there. I don't like to think that the retargeting stops there. The reason being is that you're still selling. Now, imagine if you're trying to sell a cold prospect that has only ever seen your Facebook demonstration video, saw your landing page. Now you have to sell them, let's say, $100,000 product. What do you think the odds are for that compared to, and we'll keep the front the same, that they only see the Facebook ad demonstration video, the landing page, and let's say the next 24 hours, they see 5 testimonials from 5 different people through the retargeting ads, and they see 1 educational piece. Do you think your success of closing that deal for the $100,000 client is more successful on the first scenario or the second scenario? It goes without saying. The second scenario is going to be overall, through 100 leads going through the first, 100 leads going through the second, you are going to close more deals on the second scenario. You're still warming up the prospect. So what you can do here is have a retargeting audience based upon people who hit your thank you pages or complete your thank you actions, only if it aids in, let's say, for a capitalist perspective, extracting more money from the client in a good way. You're not trying to sell them something that doesn't suit their needs, doesn't benefit them in any way, shape, or form. We're looking at this from a fiduciary responsibility that it's your that your product is the perfect delivery vehicle for the desired end result that your customer or client wants. So we're looking at this from that perspective, not from a blood-sucking leech kind of purpose. So that is the strategy in essence. And as I said, you can, plug and play this straight into your clients or into your own business really, really quickly. You can push and move things around depending upon how long this landing page sequence is. The landing page sequence might be more of a funnel style of multiple different aspects. So you can have different retargeting campaigns based upon which step of the funnel did they exit on. Things of that nature. So this strategy is here, and I've gone through it in a way that hopefully you can quickly pull it and quickly just shove it straight into your business and produce fantastic results. Very similar to what I showed you with the results of my business at the start of the video. You want to be smarter about it, of course, and hopefully you are growing, hopefully just as quickly as I was, and if you are, fantastic. I hope it's much more fun at the time than it was for Chris and I, but you get the idea. So how do we create all this? Let's jump over to Facebook and we'll go through it together. Okay, so here we are back at Facebook. Now what we want to do here is tell you first that this is a Facebook campaign for a client of mine that is essentially using the strategy that I've just showed you with tremendous results, selling something that I honestly thought was going to be very, very difficult to sell, something in the order around about $15,000 to people that I didn't think had the money for it, to be fair. No disrespect to the particular client, but I just thought it was going to be very, very hard. But the strategy worked so well because it was able to firstly warm people up into, we had multiple kind of like product demonstration videos, so it warmed people up, built the interest and created desire, but then we had proof laid on based on video views, and it's worked wonderfully well. He's sold out the product offering, so to speak. If I tell you what the offering was, probably tell you what the business is, but I don't want to do that. So fantastic end result. So how does it work? So you can see the first audience here is cut video reviews. It kind of doesn't make too much sense, but this is a video that was a product demonstration. And what we can see here is that 1,600 people based upon 50% viewership or more. And then we are layering that with retargeting videos. That audience is now seeing retargeting videos, and it's working wonderfully well, as I mentioned, selling quite an expensive product to an awkward kind of audience. I would have what I first thought of, and silly me for assuming, if you assume you make an ass out of you and me, and I certainly made an ass out of me, kind of thinking that way. So how do we create this cut video views, or the video views based upon viewership for the first product demonstration video? It's very, very simple, and it takes about 30 seconds. So to create your custom audience, all you have to do is come up to the top here, select create audience. This is for your video custom audience. So to capture people that have watched 50% or more of your video, product demonstration video. So we come here, click custom audience. We're basing it off a video. We want to select here, and we want to select 50%. Now to move on to the next step, we have to choose a video. I'm not going to do that in this tutorial because it just creates too much blurring and editing work, and as I said before, I am impatient and I don't do the editing of these videos, but it does slow down the person who does do that, so I'm not going to do that because I've got a busy 2 weeks coming up and I'm not quite sure how many videos we're going to be able to get out, so if I can shorten it up, even better for everyone. Now, so you select the video, and what happens is you select the amount of days in the past. Recency, this is more recency. So recency is an important factor because it dictates how warm or less warm someone is. So for instance, if you set this to 7 days, you're hitting very warm kind of prospects. If you set it for 90 days, you'll hit some warm, some less warm prospects. I like to set it, depending upon the lead cycle and interest level, anywhere from 7 to 30 days. It also depends upon how many views you are hitting upon that initial video. So if you're growing at 10,000 videos a day, you might want to limit it to 14 to 7 days. If you're only generating 500 to 1,000 video views that are over 50% per day, you might want to extend it out to 14 plus out to 30 days. It just allows you to capture or cast a wider net and potentially catch more fish. But just as a little tidbit here, with your lookalike audiences, so it's a good idea to be able to scale your Facebook ads using lookalike audiences based upon the viewership. So initially, I like to create lookalikes based upon 50% plus viewership of the product demonstration video, but as I get more views, I like to move that up to 75 and 90%. You're getting more laser targeted, hitting better prospects. Your lookalike audiences should be becoming more profitable and getting a better response, ultimately earning you more money. And if you don't know what I'm talking about there, go back and have a look at my lookalike audience videos and things of that nature, and it'll teach you how to create all that kind of fun stuff. So once you've selected the video, you've selected 14 days or whatever, you want to name the audience, keep a kind of clear naming convention. So name the video, potentially the segment of prospects that you're pitching the audience that video to, and also the viewership number. So 50% plus, 75% plus, you get the idea. So it's quite simple. You can click create and then go through the process. It will also show you if an option to create lookalike audiences there as well. So, and I highly recommend just doing it all in the one fell swoop. Okay, once you have that process, you have cut video views. It might take some time to populate, anywhere from 30 minutes up to a couple of hours, depending upon how many views that product demonstration video has already. So what we want to do now is create a custom audience based upon landing page interaction and things of that nature. So to do that, we whip straight back up to create audience, custom audience. This time we're going to website traffic this time. Now, it goes without being said that you should have your Facebook pixel placed. If you haven't got your Facebook pixel placed, shame on you. Get it placed right now. I don't have a video about it, but jump onto YouTube and type in Facebook pixel, your CMS, so Facebook pixel WordPress, how to place it, and you'll find a tutorial on how to do it really quickly. So I've had to blow some stuff out here. But what you want to do is, again, we've got the recency factor here. Again, the same rules apply with the recency as the video. And what we want to do here is all website visitors, or do we want to be very specific? And I'm always a fan of specificity. People who visit specific web pages or visit us by time spent. And as you heard earlier, that's one of the ways that I've used retargeting is by segmentation of behavior in terms of time spent. It's a reasonably good indicator of someone's interest level or page view events. Now for this funnel and for most people, it's specific web pages visited, and we'll say the last 30 days. And what you can do here is simply just type in the, you've got abc.com / landing page URL, like that's the / that permalink kind of part of the URL there is what you put into here, and that allows you to target people that have viewed specific web pages. And you can put in more than one if you want to target and retarget to people that visited a couple of specific pages, or you can just leave it as one. That one is each their own horses for courses, so to speak. Again, strong naming convention so you can quickly understand what's going on with your audiences, and you can quickly create ad sets and campaigns and things of that nature. Really imperative that you do get that right, because it is like pulling hair when you get into campaigns and there is a poor naming convention and you are like, what the heck is all this? And you have to go through, and it's just nasty. You have to go through and understand and click edit and go to read the options and then rename it. It's wasted time, double touching. Someone should have done it right in the first place. A little bit of whinging there, but you get the idea. Use a strong naming convention. Now, to quickly come back to the strategy, what we've done is we've created a custom audience based upon product demonstration views and a lookalike audience if you wanted to do that as well. And we've also created a custom audience based upon landing page views if that's applicable to you, which it most probably is. And you can also create a lookalike audience based upon that interaction level as well, if the numbers are substantial enough to do so. Now what we want to move into is this creation part. How do we create this within the Facebook campaign platform? And let's jump back over to Facebook, and we'll get stuck into that right away. Okay, to set all this stuff up, what we want to do is create first our viewer view campaign for the product demonstration video. Now to do this, what we have to do is just come in and we'll just say product demo. I'm not really going to implement this. This is just for the sake of this video. Auction, we stick with the only default buying type which is auction, but with traffic type or campaign objective rather, we want to not brand awareness, not reach, none of these fun stuff. We want to go to video views. We're not going to split test. You can get into split testing and things of that nature. We do want to use CBO. I'm a big fan of that. If you had asked me, a year or two ago, should you let Facebook or Google handle your bidding strategies, I would have said no way. But yes, I'm coming around to the dark side and letting them handle the budget optimization with fantastic results, mind you. So we will implement that. We'll have a daily budget. I like strong starting daily budgets of around about $100 if you can swing it. If you can't, $50 is fine. Less, maybe not use CBO. I haven't tried CBO with less than $50 a day campaigns, but the thing is that with CBO it allows you to identify fantastically working ad sets really quickly. So you can disregard things that aren't working. CBO will help with that and dedicate more of your budget to ad sets that are working really well. So essentially you're not going to be losing money unless you have a long time to get money back from prospects. So I'll let you evaluate that, which one's right for you. You can have a lifetime budget as well, but I typically don't use that all too often. Ad sets, naming convention, we'll just say product demo, and we're just basing this off a lookalike audience, and we'll just say add one product demo. I like to say prospect. We'll just say prospect segmentation there, and then any other additional details that I need to add in. I like to just use this kind of naming convention, and we'll save this to drafts. So here we are at the ad set level of the campaign we just created, and what we want to do is come into edit. We want to scroll down, and because again this is the initial product demonstration video, your targeting is each to your own here. Lookalike audiences, interest-based, behavioral-based. The world is your oyster. This is not the video regarding that. I do have videos about targeting in my playlist, so I highly recommend going to that. But it's pretty self-explanatory, and we're not going to cover this. So here we are at the creation of another campaign based upon remarketing for viewership. Now we've created the audience. We just need to create the campaign. So what we want to do is create obviously the name first. So we'll say prod demo video retargeting 50%, and I might have spelled retargeting incorrect. They want a hyphen. We'll put a hyphen in. We'll do what Google Chrome says. Now for this one, this is a little sneaky hack that I've been testing with tremendous success. A lot of people go after conversions, and it makes sense with your retargeting, selecting the portion of the audience that you've predefined, letting Facebook further get a spear out and just spearfish the prospects that are most likely to convert within the retargeting audience you've already created. Now I've got a little sneaky little tidbit here, tip that works tremendously well. Leave this at reach. No matter the type of ad, be it static ad, carousel, video, what have you, if you leave this at reach, the CPM drops. So your cost per click drops, obviously has an impact on CPA or your cost per acquisition. Everyone's happy. It's wham bam, thank you ma'am, money in the back pocket. So it's just a fantastic way. Again, CBO, use CBO if your daily budgets allow it. Again, I like to use the rule of thumb of around about $1 or $2 per 1,000 people in your retargeting audiences. So again, you can use that rule to work out your own budgets. I'm going to leave it at $25 for the sake of this. Don't forget to select. I shouldn't have clicked that. That'll just create more blurring. I like to leave the budget at $25, so we'll leave it there. Moving down, select your Facebook page, ad set again, the product demonstration. So product demo, then we'll say targeting video, and then we'll any kind of other additional information that helps you recognize this ad set really quickly, and essentially the same for this one again. We'll just say prod demo, target, prospect, which, that and any other additional information that needs to be created, save to draft. Okay, so here we are at the ad set level of the campaign we just created for the retargeting based upon 50% viewership, which we've already created the audience for. So we want to go into edit here, which you can click here, or Control U, or whatever the command is for Mac. The devil's tool. No, I'm only joking there. I don't use Mac. Anyway, so select the Facebook page, come down. The only audience we're going to be targeting here is the custom one that we already made. As you can see here, I'm going to base it upon cut video views. You blurred out the first portion of that. So we have that here. Again, blurred out. I apologize for that. Scrolling down, everyone in this location, everyone lives. Depends upon whichever kind of geographical targeting you're going to use, whether it's city or postcode based, nation based, international based. If you're going international based, I like to set up campaigns based upon per country. If you're nation based, sometimes I like to set up campaigns. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes state by state. Horses for courses again there, depending upon. But really, I don't want to change all too much here. I let Facebook do its job. Frequency capping. The frequency capping is important because you can blow through your budget, quite handsomely and quite quickly if you're not careful here. So frequency cap of maybe 5 impressions every 7 days. I like to do it usually about 2 impressions every 1 day. Just a nice little constant contact without being a pain in the backside. But again, if your remarketing is working really well, pester them more. Earn more money. Earn more money for you, earn more money for your clients. Why not? If your frequency is getting too high, lower the frequency cap control, and that's it. We would click publish. We're not going to publish, and then you would create your ads. And again, it's about staggering your ads in different levels. So what I would do here then is just duplicate this. So I'd have one ad in here, or you can have multiple ads. It just depends upon how you're targeting. And what level. So for the video based, or if you've got different segmentations of your retargeting audience, it could be based upon 50% viewership of one video, 75% of another one that has more video views. Again, you can just use this campaign as the overall structure, and it works out quite simply in terms of managing and optimization on an ongoing process. Now again, to create the audience for the specific landing page retargeting, it's very, very similar to the exact same process, and I like to create a new campaign for the static kind of image-based retargeting campaigns as opposed to the video ones. I like to keep them separate. What you would do, exact same process, but except when you get to this stage and come into the edit section, the audience selection is the different one. Instead of selecting the cut video views that we selected before, we want to select the specific landing page audience that we created earlier, and whatever naming convention that you would make for that particular audience for yourself. So it's rather simple. It's really, really simple to do. And where the complicated nature of this type of work is getting the messaging correct. Getting the audience correct is getting easy with Facebook, which is fantastic, but getting the right message and staggering the right messaging sequence, that's where people like me and people like yourself, if you're doing it for your own business, that's where the rubber meets the road. This is where the men is separated from the boys, and that's where you really do earn your money, because this overall process will effectively refine itself over time with the custom audiences that are pumping up the lookalike audiences. They become more laser targeted as you get more data, so the audience selection is getting better. It becomes down to message optimization, message tweaking, using psychological principles, using imagery principles, clarity, ultimately getting people to engage with your ad, to get the click, as I said before, get them to the landing page and sell the socks off them. So there you have it. The one and only fantastic, profit-making, best working retargeting campaign that is working wonderfully well for me and my clients in a multitude of different businesses, B2B, B2C. We've gone through how to set up the custom audiences, and further on than that, we went through lookalike audiences for product demonstration and initial video ads, moving on to retargeting audiences based upon landing pages and thank you pages, how to stagger your retargeting campaigns and how to structure them properly, and all leading to more money in someone's pocket, hopefully yours, and if not, more money for your clients is more money for you. So with that being said, the deal was at the start of the video, if you enjoyed the video, found it valuable, smash the subscribe button, smash that like button. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you got topics for the future, drop a comment in the comment section below. I really do appreciate the feedback. This YouTube channel is for you guys, as I'm on my way to, hopefully helping 1,000 businesses across the world to doubling their revenue through the power of education and showing people both the strategy and the tactical tips on how to grow their business. If you want a more, high level personal touch to some advice to your marketing and to your business, I have a free, no obligation conversation that you can contact me. Details for that are in the description of the video below. You can go to my website, brenhamel.com. Scroll down to the bottom, click the big gold button that says contact Bren, fill in the form. My assistant will contact you with a time. Again, there is absolutely no cost or no selling kind of bullshit, so to speak, involved with that meeting. I'm not like that, as you probably get the sense of. But if you do like that option, that's free for you. I do like that option, and the selfish factor is that I get to learn from you, hopefully as much as you get to learn from me. People that watch my YouTube channel in so many different industries, it's just fantastic to see what's working, what's not working for them. I can pull that from your industry, plug it into another client or into my businesses, and I just get to learn. So it's a real, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back kind of conversation. And if it goes from anywhere from there, so be it. And, that's up to you and not to me. That concludes today's video. Hope you found it fantastically valuable. Leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.